Moving on to our roles of best man, after the stag do, it was seen that there were the two main roles we had to fulfil. The first was to get him here on time and make sure he got a good night's sleep before the wedding. Well, I can assure you that last night he slept like a baby. That is to say, I can assure you he slept like a baby. He wet the bed twice and woke up every hour crying for his mum. The second was to get him here and looking presentable, and I think we just about managed it, and to make sure the day went by without any major problems. I think so far it's just about gone alright. It's been a fantastic day. Right, Matt was born on the 23rd of May 1983, and when writing this speech we tried to link it to a date with a major world event. However, it seemed nothing really important happened on that day. Although the staff at Bromsgrove Hospital, where Matt was born, still refer to that day now as Ugly Monday. Now, we literally have hundreds of stories of Matt growing up, and too many to mention in this speech, but certain ones stick in our minds. These always seem to be the ones that result in Matt being the butt of mine and Rick's prank. Now, Mum informs us that when Matt was a very young baby, Rick and I tried to launch Matt into orbit with baby bouncer. And but we worked out that if you just tried to hold it at just the right angle, you could launch him across the room. Well, there was a time that, whilst during tea one night, when my mum's back was turned, me and Rick decided to get Matt's potatoes and smother him in extra spicy horseradish sauce. It nearly caused him to choke. Other fond memories include numerous long family drives and holidays where Matt always being the youngest, would always end up sat in the middle. And me and Rick had perfected a technique that we used to call the straitjacket. And now this used to involve me sat on the left of Matt, grabbing his right arm and pulling it to one side, and Rick sat on the left, pulling his left arm and pulling it to the right. And he used to be sat still sometimes for hours on end. It was bliss. Now, for those of you who don't know, Matt's got quite a sweet tooth. And in his younger years, he was known as the Cookie Monster. Now, this name came about whenever my mum would go and do a monster food shop for the whole family. Matt would always run downstairs and, in pretending to help actually put all the food away, he'd actually just stash all the cookies and biscuits down the pants, run upstairs and go and stick them in his bedside drawer. And then they usually devour them all, pretty much in one sitting. Now, Sam informs me that this still actually goes on today. And if you were to go around his house now, you'd find his bedside drawer full of chocolate and biscuit wrappers. And, well, whilst we're on the subject of bedside drawers, my mum recently had a surprise. She was cleaning out Matt's old room, only to find a copy of Razzle tucked away at the bottom of the drawer. Nearly burnt her eyes out. He still maintains his innocence. He says he was bought it by the lads at work for his birthday. Don't believe him for a minute. So moving on, when Matt was 17 in 2000, Mum and Dad and Matt all moved out to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where Matt attended high school in America, and it was very good for him. He attended college as well. He did brilliantly. Did really well. Whilst he was out there, he obtained his driving licence, and luckily enough convinced my dad to get him a first car. It's only a 2.5 litre Pontiac Grand Am, which for 2 years was his pride and joy. And whilst in America he had the privilege of being insured to also drive my dad's 4.5 litre Grand Cherokee Jeep, which he did one night. My dad had asked him to if he could carefully park it in the garage for him. Now the garage in America was pretty flat, but there was a little lip just about so high. And I think Matt just squeezed the accelerator out a little bit too much to get up over the lip. And accelerated straight into the garage and kept going and into the hall, almost into the kitchen, nearly brought the timber frame house down. Now, my dad, hearing this noise, this almighty crash, decided to run downstairs and see pretty much what's going on. Only to be passed by Matt running up the stairs at the same time, stating that it wasn't him. Now we believe that, me and Rick believe that this is a technique he developed some years earlier from Bolton Ashley, where in the family home, whenever some damage was caused, Matt was always, his best technique was always to just run away from trouble and pretend that it wasn't him, you know. And but unfortunately this time me and Rick were the other side of the Atlantic, so couldn't be blamed for this particular incident. Right, in 2002, my mum, dad and Matt all moved back to England and we all lived together again in Ilshilton. Matt's car had somewhat been downsized from his Grand Am to a crappy little blue Vauxhall Corsa. to be honest, it was a great run around until the week whilst my mum and dad were on holiday. He decided to drive it over a hedge and into a field. He broke his best friend Lee's collarbone, caused him some semi-permanent eye damage. And it was, like I say, Saturday night, we received a call, me and Rick, at home, stating that your brother's been involved in a car accident. He's got leg and neck injuries. So obviously, scared us to bits, so we raced straight up to Leicester Royal Infirmary. And when we got there, we saw Matt on a full spinal board with a neck compressed, and it turns out there was actually nothing wrong with him, barring a few whiplash injuries. The only real damage that was sustained to him was his favourite pair of jeans, which comically had been cut by the paramedics, because he said he had leg injuries, from the hem right up to the top. Jeans just absolutely knackered, which was absolutely hilarious. So, but unfortunately the Corsa was no more, and with his insurance money he decided to buy a red Fiat Bravo, which was also a bit of a nail really, and spent most of the time breaking down and coming home on the back of an RAC truck.
As some of you may be aware, Matt was a bit of a slow starter with the ladies. As he approached his 20s, me and Ian started to get worried about it. So you can imagine what went through our minds when he came home and said he was dating an 18-year-old painter and decorator called Sam. Joking aside, and now with Morgan, they make a lovely family. Me and Ian are really proud of how Matt's conducted himself over the last few years. They've been through so much together since meeting in 2007. With Matt's cancer and the sad loss of our dad last year, Dad will be bursting with pride today, as we know Mum is too.
Right, so moving on. Now, it's kind of customary for the best men to give some words of wisdom to newlyweds on marriage. Having only been married for exactly 2 years and 29 days myself, or 851 days if you prefer. See that one, Matthew, remember it. So I decided to go out and look for happily married couples that could offer some words of advice. And I'm still looking. So I've decided to draw up a few of my own. Firstly, you've got to set the ground rules and establish who's the boss, and then do everything she says. The best way to remember your anniversary is just remember it will, just forget it won't. To help the course of true love run smoothly, never forget those 3 very important words that you must say every day. You're right, Sam. Whenever you're wrong, be a man and admit it. Whenever you're right, just say nothing at all. It's very important to get on with your mother-in-law. Personally, I haven't spoken to mine in 2 years. It's not because I don't like her, I just don't like to interrupt. But I can honestly say it's been an honour and a privilege for me and Rick to be best men today. And if you could all be upstanding and wishing a happy couple a lifetime of happiness together. To Matt and Sam.
To Matt and Sam.
Well done.
Well done.
Well done. Really good. Ten out of 10.
Well done.